unfamiliar with the project, yeah, everyone's seen the VR. So it kind of gives us a great angle, right? Because if Street Cred is the beginning of the development of the VR, and to be honest, the narrative of the VR came from the fights in Street Cred, right? Because they were about gender, it was about Islamophobia, it was about misogyny and violence and all these other things. So the videos that the kids made in the Street Cred show in their teams, the themes that come up in those two videos, which are about assumptions about the other, talking across different stereotypes, etc., which they wrote and came up with fully by themselves. Our VR project, When It All Changed, built off of those things. Does that make sense, everybody? John, you following? Yeah, you're the one I think who knows probably the least about all of the stories, so feel free to jump in and ask questions. So if we get into Tribeca and kind of leveraging my relationship through Open Doc Lab at MIT and then Ginger's relationship, there's a way to kind of frame it where here's, everybody's been talking about a need for diversity in VR. Here's this amazing story of this project that was built in a community. Like, look around the room where you guys are, look around the room where we are. Like, we're a diverse group of people. We're all engaged in community at different levels, right? The group of kids we worked with, Beverly can attest to how much work goes into wrangling constantly all of these kids. But then they have a great experience at every stage. We hope that people we engage with. And they show up and they commit their time, and Beverly's putting in her time and John put in his time, right? And so where the project is now is essentially an evolution of all of us that have been consistently putting in work over the years. So that's really why I wanted everybody at the table, because while I'm making a lot of strategic decisions, it's only here because of the hustle that all of you guys have been doing, right? And so I wanted us all, if we get into Tribeca, we all are on stage if we get an award, hopefully, fingers crossed. So that does that make sense though? So we would, while you're in line for the experience, we'd have screens or different things set up, or even some mobile app where you could watch you could almost track the plot points that started in the Street Cred show, through a fight or through a comment somebody made. And then we filmed while we were in the DNA cohort. And we filmed when we were with Beverly and Sarah at the museum. We filmed when we were, and there was lots of drama, Beverly can attest to also. We filmed when I took Jerome, trying to get him away for a while, took him up to, and we met Tony Robbins, and we filmed that, right? And then we filmed, filmed stuff with Max at one of his shows. Julian came out to LA, we filmed that. So we have this really cool story of the making of. And every time we did the VR project, it changed, right? So it changed when we did it at Sundance because they had suggestions. Sarah brought in a lot of input, ran around grabbing clothes and everything. It changed when John,